The world was shaken by a sudden and deeply alarming development that unfolded in the already volatile skies of the Middle East. Reports began to circulate rapidly across global media outlets and intelligence channels, suggesting that a fighter jet linked to Iran, specifically an F-16 Fighting Falcon, had been detected flying within or dangerously close to the airspace of Israel. Within minutes, speculation turned into widespread concern, and concern into fear, as analysts, military experts, and governments attempted to make sense of what could be one of the most provocative aerial incidents in recent years. In a region where even the smallest miscalculation can ignite a wider war, the appearance of a hostile or unidentified fighter jet is not just an incident, it is a potential trigger for full-scale escalation. As early warning systems scanned the skies, Israeli defense networks were reportedly pushed into high alert. Israel, known for its layered and highly responsive air defense infrastructure, does not take any unidentified aerial movement lightly. Systems designed to detect, track, and neutralize threats, from long-range radar arrays to rapid-response interceptor jets, would have been activated almost instantly. Aircraft such as the F-15 Eagle and the F-35 Lightning II stand ready at all times to scramble within minutes, ensuring that any intrusion into national airspace is confronted before it can pose a direct threat. The question, however, was not just how Israel would respond, but why such a scenario had unfolded in the first place. The history of tension between Iran and Israel stretches back decades, rooted in ideological opposition, geopolitical rivalry, and conflicting strategic interests across the region. Unlike conventional wars fought openly between armies, their conflict has largely been characterized by indirect confrontation. This has included cyber warfare, proxy battles in neighboring countries, targeted strikes, and a shadow war conducted through intelligence operations. Direct military engagement between the two nations, especially involving manned fighter aircraft crossing into each other's airspace, has been exceedingly rare, making this reported incident all the more extraordinary and dangerous. Military analysts quickly began dissecting the plausibility of the reports. One of the first questions raised was whether Iran actually operates the F-16. Historically, Iran's Air Force has relied on a mix of older American-made aircraft acquired before the 1979 revolution, along with Russian and domestically modified platforms. The presence of an F-16 raises complex questions. Could it have been a captured or modified aircraft? Was it misidentified by radar systems? Or could this be part of a more complex operation involving deception, electronic warfare, or even another actor attempting to provoke conflict between the two nations? In modern warfare, perception is often as powerful as reality, and misidentification has, in the past, led to catastrophic consequences. As the situation unfolded, global powers began to pay close attention. The United States, a key ally of Israel and a long-standing adversary of Iran, would undoubtedly have been monitoring the incident in real time through its extensive satellite and intelligence networks. Any confirmation of Iranian military aircraft entering Israeli airspace could trigger not just a regional response, but an international one. The risk of escalation is not confined to the Middle East alone. It has the potential to draw in multiple nations, alliances, and military coalitions. At the same time, questions surrounding intent became central to the unfolding narrative. If the aircraft was indeed Iranian, what was its mission? A reconnaissance flight would suggest a bold attempt to gather intelligence on Israeli defenses, perhaps testing reaction times and radar coverage. A more aggressive interpretation would point toward a probing maneuver, a calculated risk designed to gauge Israel's willingness to respond militarily. Alternatively, it could have been an error, a navigational miscalculation, or even a deliberate act of psychological warfare aimed at sending a message without firing a single shot. Inside Israel, such an event would likely have triggered immediate coordination between military command, political leadership, and intelligence agencies. Decisions in these moments must be made within seconds, yet carry consequences that can last for decades. Intercepting the aircraft could prevent potential threats, but also risk escalation if it leads to direct engagement. Allowing it to retreat could avoid immediate conflict, but may be perceived as a sign of weakness. This delicate balance between deterrence and restraint defines much of modern military strategy, especially in high-stakes regions like the Middle East. Meanwhile, across Iran, the narrative would be unfolding differently. Iranian officials might deny involvement, question the accuracy of the reports, or frame the situation as a fabrication designed to justify aggression. Alternatively, if the incident were intentional, it could be portrayed domestically as a demonstration of strength, a signal that Iran is willing and able to challenge Israel more directly than before. Information warfare plays a crucial role in shaping public perception, and in times of crisis, controlling the narrative becomes as important as controlling the battlefield. As analysts continued to examine radar data, eyewitness accounts, and intelligence leaks, the fog of uncertainty persisted. Was the aircraft truly an F-16? Was it truly Iranian? Or was this a mistaken identity amplified by the speed of modern information networks? In an era where news spreads instantly and misinformation can travel just as fast as verified facts, separating truth from speculation becomes an immense challenge. Yet even the possibility of such an incident is enough to heighten tensions and push nations closer to confrontation. The psychological impact of such an event cannot be underestimated. For civilians living in the region, the sound of jets overhead or the activation of air defense systems is a stark reminder of how fragile peace can be. For soldiers and pilots, it is a moment of readiness, where training meets reality and decisions must be executed without hesitation. For leaders, it is a test of judgment, where the line between strength and escalation must be navigated with extreme caution. In the broader context, this incident, real or perceived, highlights the evolving nature of modern warfare. Airspace is no longer just a physical domain. It is a space of surveillance, deterrence, and strategic signaling. Fighter jets are not only weapons, but also symbols of power projection, capable of sending messages that resonate far beyond the battlefield. The presence of a single aircraft in contested airspace can carry implications that extend into diplomacy, economics, and global security. As the world watches and waits for clarity, one thing remains certain: the stakes could not be higher. Whether this event fades into obscurity as a misunderstanding or escalates into a defining moment in Middle Eastern history will depend on the actions taken in its aftermath. Every statement, every movement, and every decision will shape the trajectory of what comes next. For now, the skies over the Middle East remain a place of tension and uncertainty, where the line between peace and conflict is thinner than ever. And as long as that line exists, the world will continue to hold its breath, watching closely, knowing that in this region, even a single moment can change everything. As the tension slowly settles and the truth behind this incident continues to unfold, one thing becomes clear: the balance of power in the Middle East remains dangerously fragile.
What we have witnessed may be more than just a fleeting moment in the skies. It could be a signal of shifting strategies,